Both teams do have the potential to make this. WhiteHounds Esports, correct me if I'm wrong. Have they yet? They haven't won a week so far. But I believe they are, if my memory serves me right, I believe they're consistently able to make it to the semifinals, or even in semifinals. If you lose, you end up in the final for third place, say the lower final, which in and of itself is still a good achievement, right? So yeah, maybe they're not, or maybe they were historically not the kind of team to actually win the finals. But still, they are up there and they're really consistent, because you can have this one team that wins, everything, but that is not able to replicate or duplicate this feat for the next week, And as such, WhiteHounds, they're, a steady team, which is really encouraging, because if your team isn't steady, what can you rely on to win your games, So there's that, and as such, both teams really do have the potential to make it. Are Dynamy ranked first in the seasonal ranking so far? Let me just check real quick. Yeah, Dynamy so far are seeded number 1, or placed number 1. So they are already virtually guaranteed a spot in the playoffs, which are going to be next week. By the way, at the end of the stream, I'll say this in French as well. At the end of the stream, I will be compiling the seasonal rankings on stream, because I do them way too late. This way, you will know immediately if your team is eligible for the playoffs or not. So, playoffs, for those of you who don't know this, I will teach you Hungarian by the weeks. Yeah, slowly but steady. To get back to what I was saying. For those of you who are not familiar with the format, obviously this is a tournament style thing, so the more you win, the more you play. But the name of the game is the more rounds you win, or the more games you win, the more points you gather. And at the end of the season, the teams, or the top 8 teams that have the most points, are invited to the playoffs, right? However, if say teams seeded, say 4th, isn't available, well, the invitation gets extended to team number 9. So should another one not be interested, the invitation gets extended lower down, and so forth. Okay. As such, the registration for the playoffs are technically opened. So if you go on Battlefy and you look up for the next week's tournaments, anybody can register, but I'm only going to include the top 8 teams into the bracket itself. So, the one thing that's going to be quite interesting here, Dynamy are defending blue bar. This is going to be a first defense coming off of them. And blue bar would not be considered a primary bomb site, so this is definitely not what WhiteHounds Esports were expecting to be attacking, I gather. As such, if they were setting themselves up with a custom composition made especially to attack, say, the kitchen, now they'll have to improvise or adapt a little, because they're not well equipped to push into blue bar. The situation is not that dire. They still do have some pretty good operators, namely Sledge, to play verticality, since, the floor here is going to be destructible, and this can play a good factor. However, Dynamy, if they went there, this means they have a good strategy. Like, if I was to just quickly cycle through the defender's POVs, Larry Garcia, of course, holding blue bar from here, roaming, Persephone roaming up top, Ares, Dark Clown Bomb side, playing for time, Shito, well, Jaeger, you gotta have to have one, and Kalen is going to be in the sunroom. This guy able to get a nice first pick for his team on Persephone, bringing this back down to a 4v4 situation. And that's looking pretty good, since this is more or less top control for WhiteHounds Esports. You still do have a few defenders that could easily walk up the stairs, namely Shito or Larry. But in the meantime, if Sledge was to receive some pressure, assuming he plays verticality, which he seems intent on doing, or even Zofia right here, the only real danger that's going to be looking out for them is basically somebody at the bottom floor shooting through the roof, or through the ceiling, rather, sorry. And there are no nitro cells in the defender's compositions, so this is going to make the defense from the bottom floor so much harder. So that's kind of like the good news for WhiteHounds Esports. The bad news for them is try as much as you may, you're not going to get the diffuser planted just by shooting down on the defenders. So eventually you'll have to walk down the stairs, exactly like this guy's doing right now. And the quote-unquote bad news is, well, this guy's going to be coming face-to-face with some pretty determined defenders. We have seen last round what Dynamy's strategies are worth, and spoiler alert, they're pretty good. So good, in fact, that their previous opponent, namely Existence White, had, significant difficulties to win their face-to-face firefights. With the time slowly but surely running low, with 23 seconds remaining on the clock, now would be the right time for that WhiteHounds Esports to actually rush in. Smoke, as of now, as far as I know, has not used a single smoke canister, so he is going to be ready to just play for time, and the defenders' positionings are still very strong. Namely, for example, right here, Shito in the kitchen is basically going to be a good distraction. He is going to bite the dust, however, but that's going to be an immediate refrag. Last operator alive, Sanga trying to push in, but there is a smoke cloud, and he was not able to make it. Dynamy winning the first round. There you go. Unfortunately, so you guys are typing in Hungarian. In between two games, I can't copy and paste this in Google Translate. I'm not going to be in a position to do so right now. So, sorry for that. But, yeah, if you guys want me to unironically learn Hungarian, you'll have to translate this for me. I'm just going to say in French what I said I was going to translate in French as well. The thing about, the playoffs and how they work. Donc, ça, j'avais dit que je le dirais en français aussi pour m'assurer que tout le monde comprenne. Donc, je vais juste une petite parenthèse en français. Ceci est la dernière semaine de compétition avant les playoffs. Donc, la semaine prochaine, ce sont les fameux playoffs. Et pour les playoffs, on a essentiellement les top 8 des équipes qui ont accumulé plus de points durant la saison qui vont être invitées. Pour que vous sachiez immédiatement si votre team peut se qualifier, ce que je vais faire, c'est à la fin du stream, je vais compter les points en live devant vous. Et puis, c'est pas parce que vous êtes genre 9e ou 10e que vous n'êtes pas éligible. Si, on va dire, la 8e équipe n'est pas intéressée, pas disponible à participer la semaine prochaine, et bien évidemment, l'invitation va être étendue à la 9e équipe. Si une deuxième équipe dans le top 8 n'est pas disponible, bien évidemment, encore une fois, on va descendre à la 10e équipe et tout ça. Comme tel, les inscriptions pour la semaine prochaine sont ouvertes. N'importe qui dans Battlefly peut s'inscrire, mais de toutes les inscriptions, je vais seulement garder les équipes top 8 qui ont le meilleur classement saisonnier. Donc, voilà pour la semaine prochaine. By the way, one thing I didn't say in English, I just thought of. Playoffs are going to be in double elimination form, and double elimination format is notoriously longer than single elim. As such, the games are going to be both on Saturday and on Sunday next week. So if you plan on playing, you should plan on being free both of these dates. Nonetheless, Persephone here appears to be the, ticking point. He's going to be the first one to receive any kind of pressure. So far, he's still holding strong. And, the verticality here can be a saving grace. Kalen is trying to provide him with some covering fire. It's not going to be easy, though. And you can see Persephone just running back and forth from a few different angles. So you have the CCTV area room from which I was seeing a silhouette. Right now, I couldn't tell you which one it was. Just cycle through the attackers, could find it. The one must have rotated. Sledge, obviously Tsanga, offering face-to-face resistance, basically. And now he had to rotate to take a look at the exterior window here. But that is going to be CPAC getting the first down but not out. Getting the kill at this point should be a formality, which apparently you're going to be using a proper frag grenade to do so. Unfortunate use of intel. And there you go. Is he hearing the phone? Is a down player not... His phone is not ringing when you're in a down but not out stage. I did not know that. Nice little tidbit of intel or knowledge about the game right there. In the meantime, however, so this is going to be a live for a live trade. Parsifal is down, but Persephone is as well. With a 4v4 situation, you have lost a roamer for an IQ. I would say this trade is worth it for a WhiteHounds team. And the next step is probably going to be to try and push into the objective itself. Like, obviously, once the Romas are out of the board, this would be the next step in the to-do list. In the meantime, CPAC might be interested in trying to hack the cameras. Do we have a roamer, like, lurking downstairs or something? Answer is going to be no. As such, WhiteHounds Esports are leading the game. Because since Dynamy isn't offering any significant pushback, or they're basically being complacent and letting WhiteHounds' strategy play out without actively trying to harass them. This lets WhiteHounds Esports set the pace of the game. However, said pace is going to be cut short. Kalen getting her first kill on Sanga, trying to go for a second one. Does not work too well. Attempt 2 is going to fail, unfortunately. And now this is going to be a numerical advantage for the attackers. Shito is not on bomb site, not even remotely. And as such, in a really immediate sense of the term, Ares is the only one defending the bomb sites. He is bound to receive pressure from a few different angles at the same time, but oh no, Shito was able to rotate back, getting now a double kill. Diska not on bomb site, not on the top floor, will have to try something really desperate with 5 seconds remaining. That must be a first kill, nicely done. But with 2 seconds remaining, he has to get another kill, and of course, Ares is not going to expose himself. This is going to be a second round 1 for Dynamy. Yeah, it does look like Dynamy are really good at playing for time, at waiting till the timer runs out, to basically win a round in a fashion that is hard to counter, to be honest. Like, within the 10 or 15 last seconds of the round, what could the attackers, what could, I believe it was Diska last operator alive, what could Diska have done? At this point, it was already too late. The dice had been, dice had been tossed. Yeah, that's a French expression, I'm saying word for word in English. It was set in stone, the stakes had been done previously. And at this point, this was just the culmination of the earlier, say, happenings in the round. So nicely done, but so far, those were the 2 first rounds, right? So both teams are still somewhat adapting to each other. And now we are starting to see a pattern emerge. WhiteHounds Esports, what they should do is, whatever they're doing, do it quicker, do it faster. Because it kind of works, right? This was a 1v1 situation at the end. So you only had to have time for that one last firefight, and the round could have been yours. I mean, you still had to win that firefight, granted. But it's not as if you were in a 1v4 situation, diffuser not planted, or any of that good stuff. After having won rounds in their primary and presumably secondary bomb site, we are going to be seeing a kitchen defense. With everything that comes with that. WhiteHounds have an interesting composition, I want to say. Lion is going to be making an appearance. Lion, obviously pretty good to flush out roamers or to force the defenders on being pretty static, which is, you know, ideal to push in. But also, you do have a sledge, so I would assume verticality is going to be the name of the game. Oh, Larry Garcia being pretty aggressive here. He is being droned out. Knowledge is power, but it helps to know it's not going to guarantee the kill. As you see right here, Larry getting an easy kill on Petak, who presumably knew the pressure was coming, but failed to react accordingly. This is really unfortunate, I have to say. The good news is, well, it's not Sanga, right? You really wanted to keep the buck alive to be able to keep the vertical pressure or the vertical route open, metaphorically speaking. And now Persephone is taking a lot of damage. He is going to be forced into a static position right here, and that could be... Oh, no! How does he get that kill? But that's going to be an immediate refrag coming off of, I believe, Diska. And Diska probably doesn't know that the guy is down, but not out. And as such, well, he's going to be staying pretty passive or pretty, you know, cautious. Thing is, if right here, as you get see Mozzie getting a nice kill, Larry trying to go for another one, if Larry can be quick enough, he might even be in a position to revive his teammate. He would have to be pretty aggressive, though, as right here, this guy fails to get the wall bang, unfortunately. But Larry, no, is not actively trying to go and help Persephone. There you go, the kill ends up happening, but it's still a 2v4 situation. Not as dire as a 2v5, but, you know, the pressure is still going to be tremendous. That drone, unfortunately, has been jammed. The bad news is, well, Sanga could have used this to ask his teammates to tell him if somebody is coming behind them, and as such, use the peace of mind to open up the verticality. Right now, it's unfortunately not going to be an opportunity. Diska on his end, oh, he's absolutely waiting to be pushed. He was ready for this. Larry Garcia taking a nasty bullet to the head. And this is going to cut his day short. So, with 50 seconds remaining on the clock, it was a 2v5, now a 2v3 situation. So far, so good. Let's also underline the fact that both players in WhiteHounds Esports are still at 100 HP. And, you know, should they keep on winning firefights without taking a single hit point worth of damage, they could be on to something. But just like last time, the timer is going to be running short, and this is going to be their ultimate enemy. Because they may be able to, you know, beat out Dynamy in a 1-to-1 firefight here and there, the overall arcing theme is that Dynamy are still masters of the bomb site, and with only 18 seconds remaining on the clock. Wow, okay. Now a triple kill on Discot. Sanga got a kill on his own in the meantime. Ari is now last operator alive, and he does not really have control of either bomb sites. He can really easily rotate back on B, but he doesn't control anything on A. The good news is he could easily get the wallbang. Is he going to try that? He does. He gets the kill. He's going to have to play for time, and that is once again going to be Dynamy Esports winning it out. These rounds, I swear, these rounds are so goddamn close. Dynamy ends up winning every single one of them, but you cannot really say that Dynamy are beating or are demolishing or immensely better than their opponents. Absolutely not. It is on a fluke or by the skin of their teeth that they win the round every single time. As such, you know, WhiteHounds, they just need the one tiny mistake that they don't make or that Dynamy ends up making, and the round is theirs. So even though they're down 3 points, it's not that, say, dire of a situation for them. However, the thing is, no matter how tight or how close the round was, at the end of the day, Dynamy Esports had 3 points. WhiteHounds Esports, not a single one of them. So, you know, it's kind of a tricky situation to tell. Is it not a dire situation? Is it starting to become one? I'd be on the fence, honestly, because even though you win your rounds by, you know, a tiny margin, if you consistently win them, it's all that matters. So there you go. We are going to be defending blue bar once again. So after playing on their primary, secondary, and tertiary bomb sites, well, the rotation is just going to start once more. And the composition seems to be pretty much the same for Dynamy. WhiteHounds Esports, however, are adapting. Pitak is going to be playing Gridlock. It is going to be a slight adaptation, though, because Pitak was playing Nomad previously, so overall, the goal of these two operators is the same. You know, they're flank denial operators. And apparently that'd be because Dynamy's roaming is a bit of a hindrance. Like, of course, they're not going to be complacently sitting on OBJ waiting for WhiteHounds Esports to push up on them. Like, the only real bomb sites, or the only real map on which you can be playing turtle strategies with a reasonable chance of success would be Clubhouse, which, you know, is not this very map. So, you do see Persephone at the top floor here by Hookah Lounge. Shito in the kitchen once again. The positioning seems to be eerily similar, and Kaylin usually using the cameras right here in the back entrance kind of thing. So as such, should WhiteHounds Esports be pretty reactive with their adaptations, they would know exactly who is where and how to react to that. Disca has already drawn Persephone out. Now it's just going to be a matter of execution. There is a rotation hole, so he's not limited to only running through the one doorway. But to have IQ holding that rotation, IQ who's going to take a nasty bullet to the head. That's unfortunate. Larry Garcia got a kill as well. Tsanga getting the refrag on that one, however. And now, this guy is once again alone in attacking the hookah area. Persephone still going very strong here, so it is going to be a matter of time. You have to wait for Tsanga to come in. There was nobody right there, however. I feel like that was a pre-fire, basically aimlessly firing, but that ended up working. Nicely done, and this is going to be flushing out the roamers. The good news is, now you can actively start attacking the bomb site itself. Bad news is, you know, with only 1 minute 15 seconds on the clock, if you are intent on playing verticality, that means you're not going to be actively trying to run into bomb site in the few next seconds. And once again, the timer is going to run out. Paytak here is apparently going to try to walk in, and Ares is not on bomb site itself. He is in that lounge, so he will be open to a pre-fire, which is not going to work since Ares had a nice rotation back on site. However, Paytak has a gadget that could be somewhat similar to Smokes' gadget, you know. Just toss it, let it expand. It's not going to expand through the wall like Ares' smoke grenades, but had it been tossed, you know, through the doorway, it could even have proven useful to getting Ares out of there, or at the very least providing a temporary distraction, which is not going to end up happening. The drone apparently didn't see him. Oh, no, he did see him. So 28 seconds remaining on the clock, 3 smoke grenades remaining. He is going to start using them to great effect. kind of denying access, but that was poorly tossed. The diffuser is now being planted. He's going to toss another one, but he's going to die. Did it ignite? Did that smoke grenade ignite? It did not. So there you go. Diffuser now planted. Now they're killed by Tsanga. All right, 1v3 situation, retake situation for Shito. Somebody right here. Pre-fires are going to work. He's taking roughly a third amount of health worth of damage. So it's looking still doable for him, but he is going to be walking a fine line. Any and all mistakes would be fatal to him. The pings are really going to be useful, but he was still in a 1v2 situation, really exposed. You know, he was strafing in the middle of the room, and as such, he made himself a really easy target. Kind of had to, you know, he had to walk around the bomb itself to, you know, have a visual line of sight on his opponent to start shooting at him. But still, that was nicely done on both teams. Like, I really do like to see this kind of performances coming on either sides, and this is going to be WhiteHounds Esports' first victory. So there go with the replays, which are still a bit too loud to my liking. Wow. Okay. That's unfortunate, isn't it? Huh. No matter. At the end of the day, this was still cutting it close, right? The diffuser was planted within the last few seconds and was successfully defended. So WhiteHounds Esports, though, the say innovation they brought forth is, you know, not groundbreaking, it was still enough. So the question is now going to be inverted more or less. Are WhiteHounds Esports is going to be able to keep on to keep the advantage they were able to find last round, or, you know, is Dynamy going to adapt to WhiteHounds' adaptation, if you get what I mean? It is getting quite meta at this point, but, you know, both teams come in more or less, I want to say naive. They don't know what to expect coming off their opponents. They're going to go off their own, say, habits, strategies, experiences, and then they're going to find out what their opponents are up to. Of course, no strat is perfect. Every single strategy has a weak point, a weakness, and a way to exploit it. So there you go. This is going to be a nice little spawn kill by Larry Garcia. And no immediate or obvious refrag situation possible. So Diska biting the dust really early on. Quite unfortunate, however. With a 4v5 situation, the Zofia, utility-wise, it's not a too big of a kill. But it's still a 4v5 situation being prompted at the very beginning of the round. This is not the kind of stuff that you want to be seeing right at the beginning of the round. First of all, here obviously is going to be sabotaging those track stingers. He is receiving a flash grenade. That's not going to be doing too much damage. Are we going to be pushing in? The problem is that guy right there, who will not be taking too much damage. Somehow Kalen is still up at 100% health. You know, both the operators, Tsanga and Petak, are now roughly at one bullet worth of health. So, oh, who was that? It's Persephone. My bad, error on the person. And right now he's going to be pushed not from that angle, but from blue bar. So, it took 3 guys, but you ended up getting rid of him. And was that going to be a double kill? Apparently not. Unfortunately, Larry Garcia getting a nice refrag here. And things are starting to look somewhat dire for WhiteHounds. You know, 3v4 situation is not too intimidating, but the thing is, look at the health pool. Tsanga really low, Pitzak roughly a third health, and Sipak, firepower-wise, he is the least likely operator to actually, you know, get the kills. So he's the one that you don't want to be seeing in a clutch situation, yet he's the most likely to find himself in such clutch situation. There you go, he gets a nice first kill, trying to with a double. The other guy was no longer there. Let's just call them real quick. This might even help Tsanga to know where he should blow up the floor or the ceiling. Nobody is going to be in the aquarium area, and CPAC apparently rotating. Good news is you still have the diffuser. Nobody has to like run around to get it back. As such, with 50 seconds remaining on the clock, this is the kind of delays that you don't really want to afford. Nobody's going to be behind that bar. Tsanga is going to be making sure of that. So the problem is going to be laying on OBJ itself. Being really cautious as he is. Petak kind of shows us that, first of all, he has good habits and not getting, surprised. Great on that front. Problem is, this also shows a lack of intel. You know, a drone could have easily realized that there's nobody on the aquarium And now with 19 seconds remaining on the clock, this is going to be extremely dire. He has to walk in pretty quickly. Sipak getting a nice kill. Larry Garcia with the nitro shot. Is that going to work? It did not blow up somehow. Ares, what is Ares going to do? Oh, it did blow up, but it was a team kill, unfortunately. He gets a triple kill. Still possible to get the ace from him, but the diffuser is now being planted. This is too little, too late. He is at roughly 1/3 health remaining. And he clearly does not know where his opponents are going to be. Does he want to go for the long rotation? Apparently not. There's nobody by the main window. Right here on his left side, there's a silhouette. And that was the head glitch. No ace possible for Larry Garcia. Tsanga winning WhiteHounds Esports is their second round in a row, actually. And as such, they are starting to get this back. I like how WhiteHounds, they are not going to let themselves be intimidated or bullied. Like, how dire did this look? You had roughly 10 seconds remaining on the clock. Vulcan shields providing fire all over the place. Smokes, well, toxic babes also providing into area denial. So what do? Don't panic. Think. Use the shotgun. Open up another rotation into the bomb site and plant there under cover of your smoke grenades. This is how you do it, and this is exactly where a lesser team would have panicked and wouldn't have thought of this ingenious solution to the problem. The team kill was really unfortunate. That might have swayed things in the orange team's favor, but at the end of the day, well, I don't want to say you get what you deserve, but throwing that C4 more or less blindly and not communicating it adequately did result in that, well, outcome. And Dynamy, they're the kind of team that is not supposed to be making these kinds of mistakes. So, last round before the role swap, we are going to be seeing another blue bar defense. Let's see if this time Dynamy are able to win this. But once again, it is going to be eerily similar. You will not be seeing the Legion. I am not sure who. Yeah, first one is going to be playing that guy, Vigil, which I forgot the name of. He's going to be playing Vigil instead, but the overall role is going to be fairly similar. The one say innovation is going to be Larry Garcia. He previously should have been staying in the main lobby and using the long angle to shoot into blue bar. However, this time he's going to be roaming at the top floor. He will receive a drone momentarily here as well. Plus, you know, there's this one silhouette, which I'm not exactly sure who that is. Is it Sipak? Yeah, exactly. It is going to be the Dokubi. Dokubi sitting at this window. First one, getting a nice first kill. Larry's still holding that angle like a hawk. Oh no, the timing! This is going to allow Tsanga to walk in. And he could just use the skeleton key to open something up. Just use the sound cues and you will get a free kill on Larry Garcia. Like right here, look at this possible wall bang. With the phones not ringing, Tsanga, you gotta hear this. Tsanga, you gotta react to that. There you go, pressure mounting. Flash grenade being tossed, but this is going to be Percival getting the kill. Sipak getting a frag at the very same time. Ares and killing two last operators alive. Top floor is entirely in WhiteHounds Esports' control. Ares in the blue bar, so he still has control of OBJ. Kaelin not exactly holding the bomb site itself, but he's holding, you know, a possible entryway into the bomb site. So, you know, it's going to be interesting. His position is only going to be pertinent if the attackers actually want to come in from that angle. But for now, Ares is going to be the only one holding both bomb sites, and he is going to fail doing so. Tsanga getting a bit of down but not out, actually getting the kill, forcing Kaelin to get back on OBJ, but he's not going to do so before he gets the first kill on Sipak. But now his rotation is going to be cut off. Don't run when you can afford to. And there you go, WhiteHounds Esports. Just bringing it back. They were down 3-0. And now it's a 3-3 situation. So they really did show that they were able to adapt in such a way that at this point Dynamy wasn't able to counter. However, all of this, you know, back and forth is going to start over, since now it is going to be up to WhiteHounds Esports to show us what their defense looks like.
Bomb located by attackers.
And just like for the first half of the game, WhiteHounds will have the element of surprise initially. You know, the attackers don't exactly know what the defense is going to be looking like. But if you go at the same bomb site for a second or even a third time, at this point, it is going to be expected. And as such, it is not going to be Dynamy who will be in a position to, you know, have the element of surprise. So, These were the replays, which I didn't comment on too much. Actually, I haven't really commented on the replays this round as a whole. Thing is, well, Maestro was not a bomb site. His rotation has been cut off. So, once again, just like I said for the, I believe, second round, the dice had been set, right? It was too late at this point for Maestro to get back on site. The mistakes had been made previously. WhiteHounds Esports, are they going to be playing any different than Dynamy? First of all, they are going to be picking billiards first. So this is exactly what you'd be expecting. As such, I wouldn't expect Dynamy to be surprised by that. We will be seeing both a Goyo and a Smoke, which is something Dynamy did only once. And you know, the area of effect denial capabilities are going to be basically doubled. With Diska, with the Maestro here, being an absolute powerhouse when it comes to denying the plant of the diffuser, the plant denial potential here is going to be tremendous. However, this comes at a cost, because basically every other playstyle is going to be severely hindered. Like roaming style, you have Parsifal with an operator that is no longer as good as he was, right? He's been kicked up to a 2 armor, 2 speed operator recently. Sipak has also an operator, a Mozzie, that's been nerfed, that's been severely neutered in the last patch. You might even argue a bit too much. I think it was Inchero who said he is now too weak. Rather give the shoddy back, but take away the natural cell. This is going to be a peak that was absolutely sloppy, and Cheeto is going to be appropriately punishing it. So your last roamer alive is going to be Parsifal. He is really alone. Tagged by Jackal. Should he be killed? Like, there's nobody else in the jungle area to get the refrag. Tsanga getting a nice kill on Ares, so this is going to be taking care of that Jackal problem. But just as I missed this, you have a Larry Garcia taking a lot of damage, but taking Partial out of the picture. 3v4 situation. 3 attackers are low on health, so you could even say that the health pool advantage goes to WhiteHounds. This is going to be one thing. However, that rotation could have been cut off by who was rappelling up there. Larry Garcia, had he be looking through the doorway, he could have cut off said rotation. But for right now, he is really content on trying to hold a long angle on the bomb site. Sanga getting a nice nitro cell, but Larry Garcia getting a refrag on Sanga. Petak is on bomb side, so is the Diska. So far, even though you have a low amount of defenders remaining, they yet retain a really strong grip on the OBJ. Like, WhiteHounds Esports cannot just walk in there and try to plant. This Dynamy, sorry, is not going to be in a position to just walk in there and try to plant. That can be turned against Petak real quick. He has to fall back, thus, you know, forfeiting a bit of hole on the OBJ. There is, however, a Evil Eye right here. I can't zoom in anymore. So he's going to be feeding against on Cheeto, but Kalen is currently planting, and Larry is covering that. Not looking too good. Diffuser likely to get planted. There you go. Too little, too late for the Evil Eye cameras. He's going to attempt to do his best. It's too late, however. But Larry Garcia is really low on health, so it's going to be the matter of a single bullet to take him out, which yet has to happen. They go with just the heavy pre-fires. It was bound to happen. But now, Kalen still with up 100% health. He is now in a really good spot. He just has to wait. Unfortunately, he's out of nades, so you can just chuck them into the doorway to just play for time. 17 seconds. Now you only have less than 10 seconds to get the kill and get back there. He has to run out with the heavy pre-fires. He is going to try as much as he can. Right there, he has to run a little. That was his mistake. Dynamy winning round 7. This is... I really do like to see both teams be able to, you know, secure a small portion of a bomb site and plant in there. This means you really do know what your opponents are capable of and what they're not going to be in a position to do it, right? You were planting right under their nose. And in that round, I'm referring to Dynamy, but WhiteHounds Esports did the same last round. However, this is going to be putting the orange team, Dynamy, back into the lead. It had been equalized by WHE. And yeah, so of course Dynamy are not too keen on letting the points advantage slip out of their grasp, so they got it back real quick. But looking at this replay right here, it was really hard to tell. Like, what could Maestro have done? If he didn't run, if he just kept on pre-firing, he probably would have gotten the kill, but he would have been too late to destroy the diffuser. So just like last time, it was too late. Once the diffuser was patched, once Maestro was forced into the run-out situation, it was already too late. The mistake had been made previously, and as such, better luck next time is all there is to say. Which we're going to be seeing right about now. What do I like to see? What do I don't like to see? First of all, I don't like to see the Athelete on that glass panel, because you only need to be destroying the glass panel to destroy the Athelete itself, because it would be falling down, or you know, it would no longer have any grounds to be attached to. So this is an unfortunate little mistake. Always destroy the glass windows before placing an Athelete, for example, in a barricaded window. Sorry. Like some windows are kind of made out of metal, showing that the map kind of has a window there, but it's not going to be usable for gameplay purposes. Always destroy the glass pane before planting the Athelete down. Other than that, you do see the Parsifal Jaeger and Wamai combo. So extra attention to frag grenade or grenades denial is going to be put on the WhiteHounds Esports' mind. Is it going to be worth it though? Because you only do see 2 frag grenades on the attacker's composition coming off of Kaelin. Did he get a single kill with them last round? I don't believe so. Of course, you know, it's always a good idea to deny those gadgets, but it's not an absolute priority like they do seem to make it out to be, because, once again, you do have the combo here. Somebody has just set foot in a goo mine. This is going to be Persephone, who was not feeling too confident right here. He wanted to take a look at this angle before taking out the goo mine, but the thing is, Sipak is no longer there. He's actually in the courtyard. Courtyard is an interesting position because he's going to be extremely exposed, right? That is going to be also Shito in a firefight with Maestro. However, Diska will be biting the dust. Will Shito be in a position to get another kill? There was a silhouette there in the courtyard. This silhouette, however, seems to have been taken care of. Well, Sipak is no longer there, but he's still alive. Also, Parzival was on that little roof, so this is the silhouette that kind of died there. So, once again, control of OBJ really dim, really slim. Sangha is not looking too good right now. He had to attempt to deny the plant of the diffuser. It did not work. Ares getting the kill, and this is going to be yet another round for the Dynamy team. At this point, what would you be thinking? Well, WhiteHounds, they have attempted to defend their primary bomb site twice. Visibly, that doesn't work. So what's going to be next? Are they going to try to go there again? Or will they think to themselves, I'd rather not. Let's try something else. It is going to be the latter, which is going to be their choice. And as such, the next round will be played in kitchen and service entrance, which you can't see right now since you still are seeing the replays. But, you know, this is final kill cam. Let's just watch it real quick. Ares was holding its side angle and pre-fired heavily, which resulted in a predictable ending. So, like I said, kitchen, service entrance. The one thing I also do notice is the reduced plant denial capabilities. What reduced? You don't have the Maestro, but you do have the Goyo and the Smoke, so maybe I've spoken too soon. So this is going to be looking like a pretty typical run-of-the-mill composition. Nothing too outlandish, nothing too surprising. Like, real quick. With Valkyrie being banned and not Mira, right? But I'm not sure if... Yeah, I did enter this correctly in the overlay, right? With Mira not being banned, I'm a little surprised not to see her. You know, having a mirror window on this door, on this wall would be really interesting. Also do notice that there is a rotation right here, which is going to be covered by a Vulcan shield. So you would assume people or WhiteHounds Esports are going to be hankering down behind said Vulcan shield, and should they be flushed out, well then they can just destroy it before falling back. First one already taking lots of damage. This was obviously a spawn killing attempt from probably Sipak right here. This looks Pastantono. This looks like like Italian. I don't speak Italian. But hey, just feel free to keep on typing in the chat. Just don't expect an answer from me. Just like the guys who are talking in Hungarian. Once again, it's like nice to see different cultures, different languages coming together. But there still is a language barrier. So, you do see Pitak Smoke being taken out of the picture really early on which is somewhat unfortunate because, you know, once again, in planting denial capabilities absolutely through the roof with Smoke and Goyo, now they're going to be somewhat reduced. Well, basically cut in half, right? And Sangha, if we just look in third person, Sanga's the only one on OBJ. So should he fall to, you know, the main window, attackers would be just in a position to funnel in and plant the diffuser. And they're absolutely trying to do so, right? There is going to be Ed Garcia right here in the Sunrise bar. Does he want to play the anti-roaming phase, or roll rather? Does he want to just funnel his way to OBJ before the Romans have time to get back on site? Both answers would be reasonable. But for now, it is not going to be the blind rush, rather the slow methodical push, which is going to prevail. Results yet have to show. You don't have much to show for it, but you know, with 1 minute 15 remaining on the clock, if WhiteHounds Esports keep up the good work, if they are, you know, cautious enough to not die to stupid firefights like this one, rotation where he did not watch his angle, unfortunately. Tsanga getting able to get a nice kill, a double kill now with the diffuser down. This is strong. The nitro cell, however, is going to be cut off. So Disca, last operator alive. Diffuser is not in the attacker's position. They didn't have the diffuser, which forced them into a deathmatch situation, which Shuto was able to win. This is really the biggest thing, I feel like. Both teams do have solid and legitimate strategies, but Dynamy, they have a really good aim, reaction time, game sense for their strategy level. Like, if you were to look at their strats, both teams have roughly similar in strength and all that. You know, their strats are similarly complex, strong, good, original, all that good stuff. Where the two teams are differing is in the execution and in the actual firefight capabilities. As such, we are going to be seeing this 3-6 scoreline in favor of Dynamy, who are now in a match point situation. So, WhiteHounds Esports, backs against the wall. However, WhiteHounds, they have shown us that they don't panic and they don't, you know, lose their cool head. Well, they stay cool-headed rather when they are under tremendous pressure. We've seen this at round number 5 or 6, around number 5, when within 10 seconds of the game being over. I think it was Pitak. Yeah, Pitak, who used the shotgun to open up a rotation and then plant, you know, basically circumventing the smoke grenades and that good stuff. This is the other kind of thing that you'd be thinking about if you were basically panicking. So even though WhiteHounds, they are going to be feeling an intense pressure, knowing that it's a 3v6 scoreline, I don't expect them to, you know, just be losing their composure because of that. So let's see what this round has in store for us. The initial insertion is going to be pretty much all around the objective or all around the building. Not shaping up to be a unilateral push in a unilateral firefight. As such, without having a distinct or an easy to tell, say, line, I want to say, front line, flanks, and all of that good stuff do still remain really, really possible. And there's nobody right here on the right-hand side. There's nobody in the main lobby. So Persephone could just rush in, use the rotation to take a peek at Smoke and try to get the kill here. Persephone has a nice possibility. He utilizes this possibility, nicely done. So now Petak would be the only one on the OBJ parcel just dropping down here, but he has been hurt and he will be cut off. Once again, Smoke, only one directly on bomb site, has to use his smokes early on in the round. This is shaping to be really looking well for Dynamy. Disca trying to rotate back. He is kind of holding the angle like a hawk, but he is also going to be a bit scared by the sounds coming from behind him, and he seems to have been tagged by Jackal, so this was the easiest firefight ever for Larry Garcia. Now in a 2v5 situation, not looking too good for WhiteHounds Esports. Petak holding this angle. Sipa getting the first kill. That is good. He's going to get a second one. He is going to get a second one. Was that diffuser lost? This is not, however, diffuser lost. He has made his way back on site. Oh, he can barely not walk through though, so Petak is going to be kind of on his own devices for now. Yeah, he was down. Will be put out of his misery. Now in 1v3 situation, he has one last toxic babe and only a minute 15 to go. This was not going to work out. So there you go. Dynamy winning it out. And this was an odd game, I want to say. the beginning of the game was really evened out, right? WhiteHounds Esports, even though they lost in the first round, the enemy only won them by the skin of their teeth. After that, WhiteHounds Esports were able to adapt to win 3 rounds in a row. But then it was just the orange team's turn, Dynamy Esports' turn, to win 4 rounds in a row, which brought them up to 7-3. So, looking at it like that, you could say WhiteHounds Esports' defenses were weaker than their offenses. Or maybe it's the other way around, right? Dynamy Esports' defenses were weaker than their offenses. No matter what exactly happened here, this is going to be the game. Both teams are going to be playing again. Dynamy in grand final and WhiteHounds Esports in the lower final for 3rd place. And kind of the question I had here was regarding the standings, because Dynamy, they're seeded first, right? So they are guaranteed a spot into the playoffs. WhiteHounds Esports, they are currently seeded 2nd, so neither teams really needed the win that bad. So you could say the game has been played for show more than for anything else.